Hello everyone, we're from Group 1 gonna present about subtitle for the deaf and hearing. My name is Andi Naila.
My name is Ayasa Fazaroh Yudi.
My name is Abel Nastiawan.
My name is Shifaluna Indi.
My name is Shefona Audrey Serial.
My name is Rizky Putra Aksorobayan.
And my name is Ganendra Baisha Videkso. Let's begin. So, we are going to presentate about first, introduction. What is SDH with its definition, target audience, and purpose, followed by difference between SDH and non-SDH subtitles. And then we're going to talk about key considerations for the translators on the making of SDH. And lastly, we are going to talk about style guides from BBC and Netflix standard.
So first is the introduction. So what is the definition of subtitles? Subtitles are text that appears on screen containing the dialogue spoken in films, TV, shows, or etc. Subtitles help the audience understand of what is being said, especially when the language is different from their own. So, subtitles translate one language into another. And what is SDH? SDH, or subtitle for the deaf and hard of hearing, are intended for audience who are deaf or having a hear impairments. So SDH is a mix of regular subtitles and closed captions or CC, including both dialogue and sound descriptions, so that the deaf viewers can still follow the storyline of the video.
As we mentioned before, there is subtitles and closed caption. And now we're gonna talk about the difference between the subtitles and closed caption. First is subtitles. Subtitles are intended for hearing viewers who do not understand the language. And traditionally, subtitles show the spoken content but not the sound effects or other audio elements. And for the closed caption are designed for the deaf and hard of hearing audience. They communicate all the audio information, including the sound effects, speaker IDs, and non-speech element.
And now let's talk about the difference between SDH and non-SDH subtitle. The first one, content included. Non-SDH typically includes only the spoken dialogue. SDH includes dialogue, sound effects, music cues, and speaker identification. 2. Usage case. Non-SDH primarily used for translating dialogue for viewers who do not understand the language spoken in the video. SDH used for accessibility purposes, especially on platforms that do not support closed caption. 3. Translation and international use. Non-SDH also used for translation but may not include non-dialogue audio information, potentially limiting accessibility. SDH can be translated into foreign language to make content accessible to deaf and hard of hearing audience who speak other language.
Okay, so now we're gonna talk about the key of consideration for translators on the making of SDH. So first, we have inclusion of non-dialogue and audio elements. SDH subtitles are designed to convey not just spoken dialogue, but also essential non-speech audio information. This includes sound effects, music cue, and speaker identification, which are crucial for viewers who are deaf or hard of hearing. Second, use of SDH in platforms lacking closed caption support. SDH subtitles often serve as a substitute for closed caption on platforms or media that do not support traditional closed captioning formats. This is particularly relevant for digital communication and streaming services.
Moving on, we have styling and formatting flexibility. Unlike closed captions, while have standardized formatting, SDH subtitles offers more flexibility in terms of appearance. This includes variation in fonts, color, and styles, allowing for customization based on the media player's capability and audience needs. And lastly, we have translation into foreign language, which it can be translated into various languages to make content accessible to deaf and hard of hearing audience worldwide. This is particularly important for international distribution and compliance with accessibility standards.
Now we're going to talk about BBC and Netflix style guides. For the BBC, it uses a hyphen and character name in all caps. For example, John, and it's written all in a caps lock. And for the Netflix one, it used 3 colon after the speaker's name in mixed case. Example, John, and not in a caps lock. For the BBC one, it used descriptions like man or woman. For the Netflix, it used descriptive labels, for example, man or woman, with context when possible, for example, police officer. And for the BBC, it described the sound in square brackets in lowercase, example, door creaks. And the Netflix, it used italics without brackets, for example, door creaking, or square brackets, if not italics.
Okay, next one for reading speed. BBC use a maximum of 160 to 180 words per minute. Meanwhile, Netflix use 17 characters per second, and for children content 30 characters per second. And for the line lengths, BBC use maximum 2 lines up to 37 characters each. Meanwhile, Netflix has maximum of 2 lines and up to 42 characters per line. For the speaker alignment for the BBC is that the subtitles may be left aligned to indicate speaker positioning. Meanwhile, for Netflix, the speaker alignments must be centered unless clarity requires otherwise.
And that concludes our presentation today. Thank you for listening. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.